Exactly 10 years ago, on February the 29th, 2016, a certain Minecraft update would release that would instantly split the Minecraft community in two, the likes of which has never been seen in any other game before.
Mojang, what were you smoking when you made this update? And don't even get me started on the amount of people yelling spam clicker.
An update which to date is still regarded as the most controversial Minecraft has ever received, an update which indirectly or maybe even directly led to the death of many of the game's most popular servers.
But you're not going to revert them? No, honestly, I have seriously considering reverting them.
It's an update that for the first time in the game's history, a very large percentage of the community refused to ever update to or play.
Mojang, this decision of yours to keep Altered Combat in only the Minecraft Java edition has been one of the most contested choices you've made for over 2 years now. Why haven't you done anything about this?
And it's a version of the game which even today, 10 years later, some of the biggest servers in the world did not use. It has now been exactly 10 years since the release of Minecraft 1.9, and it's now time to look at how it forever changed Minecraft, whether that be for better or for worse. Let's go back to February 2016 so we can truly understand the entire ordeal and how Minecraft was going at the time. Minecraft as a whole was slightly declining in popularity from its monolithic rise in the early 2010s, but overall was still going very strong. A key reason for the game's slight decline was the fact that it hadn't had a major update since September 2014. September 2014 saw the release of Minecraft 1.8, and despite the game seeing a few minor 1.8 patches all the way up until December 2015, no major new additions or notable changes would occur beyond this. This was one of the largest periods of time Minecraft had gone without a significant version update, and it was clearly beginning to show. However, on the other side of the coin, if there was one thing going well, it was the Minecraft multiplayer and server scene. Back in 2015 and 2016, there were dozens of Minecraft servers seeing player counts in the high thousands or tens of thousands, many of which being competitive combat-centric or minigame servers. Faction servers, 1v1, duel and practice servers, bed wars, sky wars, minigames in general, all these servers and game modes were thriving and were immensely active, with the one thing they all had in common being that PvP, specifically 1.8 PvP, was the key element of their gameplay. PvP was huge in the Minecraft community at the time, and I'm sure many of you have fond memories playing on many of these monolithic servers. So, when in February of 2016, at a time when vanilla Minecraft was beginning to feel a bit stale, due to an extended period without notable updates, and servers were picking up the slack with their minigames and game modes centered around PvP, Mojang would release an update that would fundamentally change how PvP worked forever. The Minecraft community was not happy. In 1.9, weapons now had attack cooldowns, whereby they did not deal nearly as much damage and knockback if you attacked when the weapon was on cooldown. Furthermore, the addition of new items like shields which could block attacks, alongside the offhand, as well as the changes to axes making them deal more damage than swords, with the downside of having a longer cooldown time, turned PvP into a slower rhythmic, trading blows and shield disabling type of meta. This was a complete departure from the previous 1.8 PvP mechanics, whereby weapons did not have attack cooldowns and fights were generally fast-paced and centered around intense knockback combos through the use of sprint resetting. Now, to be clear, most features added in 1.9 were good. The addition of the offhand, elytra, end crystal, shulkers, and more were all well received and are fundamental mechanics of the game used even today years later, widely appreciated by the community. But the new combat mechanics, oh boy, nobody could have predicted the impact they would have on the game as a whole. For those of you not there during 2016, what you really have to try to understand is that Minecraft's reputation was not great. The recent Microsoft buyout, the 2014 Eula drama, with Notch and Mojang trying to ban all forms of pay-to-win on servers, combined with the lack of significant game updates in some time, made players quite skeptical of the game's future and development choices, especially in regards to multiplayer and servers. So, upon the announcement and eventual release of 1.9, almost instantly the update was very divisive. On one hand, you had more casual players, primarily single-player PvE players who didn't mind the changes, or even liked the addition of shields, for example. But on the other hand, a large portion of multiplayer players, or those who spent time playing the game more competitively, and even some of the more casual survival players, significantly disliked how slow and clunky PvP felt now by comparison. To players, it felt like Mojang didn't understand what made Minecraft PvP a popular multiplayer experience whatsoever. It felt like they didn't even care about servers and their players at all, which combined with the server drama from not too long prior, made players furious. Players believed that the update prioritized PvE players whilst ignoring and even harming PvP players. Furthermore, outside of the actual changes to the attack cooldowns, players also criticized aspects of the update for being unbalanced and poorly designed. One issue was that the attack cooldown was unintuitive and confusing, as you technically could still spam click, it just did barely any damage. In most games with attack cooldowns, you can't attack at all during the cooldown, but the way it had been implemented in Minecraft 1.9, you still could, just with extremely diminishing returns.
One single feature of that update has not only been highly contested ever since its release, but has also caused players to quit the game outright, which is the mechanic that causes a swung weapon to go on cooldown for a short period of time. Now, I can't speak for everybody, but personally speaking, my biggest gripe about this feature is how unintuitive it is. Now, you swing your weapon and you have to manually wait through a cooldown before swinging your weapon again. If, however, you swing your weapon before the cooldown is up, you deal astronomically less damage than when the cooldown is up, and this is where I feel the problem lies. If we could spam click as much as we wanted like the old days, but just not have our weapons swing until they're ready, that would be far better in my opinion.
Another issue pointed out by players were regarding axes. Technoblade had a relatively famous video from the time about it where he says this, echoing how many players felt about the axe changes and the addition of the shield.
Mojang, what were you smoking when you made this update? I mean, look at this. Wood axe, 7 attack damage. Diamond sword, 7 attack damage. Oh, well, you see, Technoblade, the wood axe has a much shorter attack speed than the diamond sword, making the diamond sword better than a wood axe. Listen to yourself try to justify this. It does the same attack damage. No, it's not a better weapon, but it does the same attack damage. Why? But the more I look at the stats, the more I'm starting to think that stone axes are just strictly more useful than diamond swords now. You know how much shields block for? They reduce the damage you take by 2/3. And guess what? There's this thing that disables shields. They're called axes. If you get a sprint hit with an axe, it completely disables their shield for several seconds, and when they get the shield back, you're just gonna sprint hit them again. And don't even get me started on the amount of people yelling spam clicker whenever you disagree with the 1.9 combat change. Like seriously, calling someone a spam clicker is like the easiest way to announce to everyone in earshot, hey guys, I had no idea how to PvP before, and I like this update because now no one else knows either.
The last part Technoblade mentions is also quite significant. Part of the reason the Minecraft community was so divided over this update was simply because many of the more casual players did not understand how 1.8 PvP worked whatsoever. So those same people also did not understand why this change was so hated by a very large portion of the player base, and rather than attempt to understand them, they simply just classified 1.8 PvPers as spam clickers who were upset they had to actually strategize in PvP now and couldn't just click as fast as they could anymore, ignoring the many complex methods and components to 1.8 PvP that made it so enjoyable and successful all across the Minecraft multiplayer landscape. The backlash from 1.9 was so major that Jeb had this to say during Minecon 2016, a few months later.
But you're not going to revert them? No, honestly, I have seriously considering reverting them. The new combat mechanics have not been ported to all platforms yet, and of course before we do that we want to make sure that it's actually what we want in the game. Now I feel I would be really sad to go back to how it was before, because I really like the more rhythm kind of fighting that we have now.
Mojang would even make jokes about the situation not long after due to how notable the backlash was.
Got a meeting with Jens.
Oh yeah, another meeting with Jens. Okay, what's on his mind this time?
Probably wants to tweak the combat mechanics again.
I think you get the point now though. The story of 1.9 and its controversial changes is pretty well known, but what isn't as well known, and what I really wanted to discuss and analyze in this video now since it's been 10 years, is simply how impactful this update was on the game, for better or for worse. Before that though, consider subscribing if you haven't already. We are on the cusp of 900k subscribers, and you could help get us there. No pressure of course. Anyways, the Minecraft community has always been one to complain about everything, but usually it's just that, vocal complaints where no actual change or action occurs. But with 1.9, things were very different. First of all, almost immediately, players began petitioning Mojang to change the combat back, but once they realized they likely wouldn't, they began asking for a game rule that would let them choose between the modes of combat. This is something players continued trying to get implemented even for years after 1.9 released.
I want to show you a small mod that I had made that lots of people have requested Mojang implement into Minecraft ever since 1.9's release, which adds a game rule for the controversial attack cooldown. Mojang, this decision of yours to keep altered combat in only the Minecraft Java edition has been one of the most contested choices you've made for over 2 years now. Why haven't you done anything about this?
In fact, so many people asked this that in 2019, Mojang specifically added to their previously considered suggestions FAQ page on the official Minecraft feedback website that they would not be implementing a game rule or toggle for old combat. So players instead began making mods and server-side plugins that would do it for them. One of the most well-known is the plugin called Old Combat Mechanics, which as of today has over 220,000 downloads on the Spigot website. And this is where the biggest impact of the combat changes were felt. For many Minecraft servers who were so popular and active due to having a 1.8 PvP-centric focus, they simply, well, never updated to 1.9. Here I'm looking at an early 2017 archive of an old Minecraft server listing website, which lists the most popular servers by players. And if we look at all the most popular servers exactly 1 year after 1.9 released, we can see it's all mostly servers still running 1.8 with 1.8 PvP. It may say the version is newer, but that's because after the release of 1.9, so few servers wanted to update that an entire plugin called Via Version, which allows newer Minecraft clients to connect to older servers, released on literally the same day 1.9 did. This plugin is still regularly used by servers today with over 8 million downloads. That's right, after the release of 1.9, so few servers wanted to update that one of the most important and used Minecraft plugins of all time was developed and created just to help servers not do so. Now, if we continue looking at the player count and popularity statistics of these older servers, that's where the impact of the 1.9 update really begins to show. Skipping ahead to 2019, for example, shows that the most popular servers are no longer remotely as popular as they were in 2016, just prior to 1.9, and most of the popular ones left were still on 1.8 or likely had primarily 1.8 game modes. There simply was barely any notable 1.9 PvP servers popping up at all, and mind you, it had been 3 years since Minecraft 1.9 had released at this point. It just seemed like the Minecraft multiplayer community refused to adopt 1.9 PvP and move on. And if we skip ahead even further, we can do specific comparisons comparing older famous servers to their player counts today, and you can see that almost all of them have lost likely close to 90% of their players, if they still exist at all. Most of these, once again, were servers who became popular for 1.8 PvP focused game modes or minigames. And you might be thinking, isn't that just because newer servers came along and replaced them? No server remains popular forever, right? Well, not really. The only 2 servers these days which regularly see 5-digit play counts are Hypixel and then Donut SMP. Besides those 2 servers, every other one is in the low thousands, most of which are cracked non-English speaking servers, Minehut servers where the player count isn't accurate, or servers spoofing their player counts. Basically, the most popular Minecraft servers today are for the most part significantly less popular than the most popular Minecraft servers from 10 years ago. And it's not like Minecraft as a whole is any less popular, mind you, it just seems like many of the game's once most popular servers, of which became popular due to gameplay primarily centered around 1.8 combat, gradually declined as 1.8 began to age, and no newer 1.9 servers replaced them in the same regard, at least not to the same extent. Besides Donut SMP and mcpvp.club, there really isn't any 1.9 PvP servers that get even remotely close to the play counts the former titans such as Mineplex, The Hive, Badline, Cosmic PvP, and many other 1.8 centric servers used to get. Now, I doubt the whole reason for the decrease in popularity of Minecraft servers can be attributed to 1.9's release alone. I made a video talking about other contributing factors here last year after all, but it's undeniably played a major role as it completely fragmented the Minecraft server community at the time, resulting in many servers refusing to update and thus becoming stale over the years without the addition of any new Minecraft content. Furthermore, newer players who joined the game after the release of 1.9 likely never experienced 1.8 and thus had no reason to ever play these servers, meaning for the most part there wasn't enough newer players coming in to keep these older 1.8 servers alive. The impacts of 1.9 also were felt on one other aspect of Minecraft which was close to taking off but never did, and is something even Jeb referenced during his Minecon interview from the time.
There have been discussions of actually trying to make a real, like an official competitive setting for Minecraft that doesn't change over time. One of the problems is that you want to be, if you want to play competitively, you want to really nail your skills, like you want to be perfect. And that doesn't work if we change the rules every 3 months. We're thinking about what is the proper competitive setting for Minecraft. And I don't have the answer right now. It may be that, well, it's 1.8. That's the competitive setting, but we'll figure it out.
The competitive Minecraft PvP scene, specifically its potential to become an actual esport or seriously organized scene. Back in the mid-2010s, servers such as Badline, seeing thousands of players online daily, introduced proper ranking systems, rules, and a leaderboard to PvP, properly establishing a competitive Minecraft 1v1 and duel scene. These servers became immensely popular and successful, with many YouTubers creating entire careers off Minecraft PvP alone. And big esports organizations took notice too. In mid-July of 2016, only a few months after the release of 1.9, Badline would partner with ESL America, an esports production company known for running many big esport events in games like Counter-Strike. And according to one of the owners of Badline, ESL had the goal of establishing and laying the groundwork for a proper competitive Minecraft scene. Unfortunately though, it was not meant to be, and this partnership came a little too late. While Badline did run a few very small tournaments and events following the partnership, nothing significant ever came out of it, and as Minecraft 1.8 aged, with Mojang making it clear that 1.9 combat was here to stay, eventually in 2018, Badline would shut down. Now, while the failure to establish a proper Minecraft esports scene can be attributed to many different factors too, undeniably the shift to 1.9 combat and major split of the community killed any potential chance it had. With that decision, it became abundantly clear that Mojang had no desire to actively support, maintain, or update Minecraft's combat in a way that would function in a highly competitive environment. The fact that for years after the release of 1.9 and the decline or death of 1.8, newer 1.9 PvP servers did not seem to prop up, and if they did, they barely even emulated a fraction of the popularity of the older 1.8 ones, really demonstrates how important 1.8 combat was to Minecraft's competitive scene. This now brings us to the modern Minecraft era. Mojang, or at least Jeb, is clearly aware that 1.9 wasn't exactly an overwhelming success. In 2019, Jeb even began trialing special changes to combat known as combat tests or snapshots, featuring a combat style that lay somewhere between 1.8 and 1.9, seemingly attempting to appease the wider community. These snapshots were well received too, however after a few months, with the last releasing in August 2020, we have yet to see any additional updates or word on it, and for the most part, it seems to be abandoned. Interestingly, Minecraft Bedrock to date has still not seen implementation of majority of the 1.9 combat changes, whether that be for accessibility reasons or because Mojang aren't confident enough that said changes will work well on that version of the game. But it's not all doom and gloom. While it has taken about 10 years, the modern Minecraft PvP scene has finally begun to flourish. While some of the game's biggest servers like Hypixel still remain on 1.8 in many aspects, modern competitive Minecraft does have its popular servers and communities now. Donut SMP is a great example, as while not directly a PvP server, it does have a very PvP-centric focus, specifically around Crystal PvP. Other servers like MC PvP, Minemen Club, Stray.gg, and PvP Legacy also do have active competitive player bases using the modern PvP mechanics. There is very much a competitive community for modern Minecraft PvP now, that's undeniable, and it is active and successful despite some of its recent issues and controversies. Furthermore, while not necessarily esports, there are a few somewhat competitive events featuring well-known streamers or high-ranking Minecraft speedrunners that are run regularly now, so it's not like the competitive nature of the game has entirely disappeared either, it just had to regrow and take a different form. But all this makes me think about is what could have been. What if the Minecraft community was never fragmented and split by 1.9? What if many of the game's most popular servers were still around today, as they were able to update and did not have to remain on 1.8? What could have happened if Mojang never changed PvP and instead decided to more actively support it, resulting in an actual competitive scene properly becoming established? It just feels like we could have had so much more if the 1.9 combat changes never occurred, and the PvP community and its servers could have continued developing rather than having to be split and reset as they were. better with 1.9. I think there is a positive future ahead for Minecraft PvP regardless though, and I do hope we see some newer monolithic servers rise to prominence alongside it, but 1.9 will forever go down in history as Minecraft's most controversial update that changed the game for better and for worse. Be sure to subscribe, thank you all so much for watching.